Well, I'm casting up some bullets. I've got a caribou hunt about 4 or 5 days that I'm leaving on, and I don't have really enough ammunition to check my zero and be comfortable with. Might need to take a few shots once I get there. So I dug out an old bullet mold from years ago. I used to shoot this thing and it shot really well, and I like the shape of it, and it really has good terminal performance. So, but I don't have any of them, so I'm gonna cast some up and hopefully they still hit where they're supposed to. That's about right. That'll work. Well, the only rifle that I have, high-powered big game rifle anyways, is a 40 caliber Sharps. It's actually this one behind me. I built it years ago. It's a 40 caliber 3 1/4 inch shell, and used to have an old book written back in the 1870s, and the gentleman in there had a Sharps number 3 sporting and 43 1/4, and it was just a neat book, and I learned how to do this, at least in a way that works the way I want it to, from that old book. And so I built one, and I built one again years later, a little bit more serious long range version for another gentleman, good personal friend of mine, and that rifle has since come back around to me, and I've never hunted with it, but that is the rifle that I'm going to take up there. It weighs 12 pounds. It's about 2 pounds heavier than this number 3 of mine, and I built it that way on purpose. That's really the only regret I had when I built this one. I was thinking about for hunting, but as y'all all know, that makes it really difficult to shoot any kind of long distance. It's all right out to medium range, but it gets pretty technical on your technique when your rifle's that light. So it has a spirit level too, which is a luxury I've actually never had, and that'll just give me a little bit more confidence in unfamiliar terrain. So
Morning departure, citation 525. Right turn 270.
Citation 525, Amarillo departure, ident thermal altimeter 3013.
anyways, what a lot of people don't realize about doing something like this is this takes 1 to 2 years of planning and booking and just scheduling and logistics out the wazoo. I mean, you know, we decided to do this like a month ago.
Absolutely. And that's really, you know, what we've talked about is how this plane enables us to go on this journey, to do a DIY caribou hunt in Alaska from Texas. 2 guys from Texas.
Well, I think we're going to go all the way to Petersburg because I don't like doing the tourist trap thing. Catch a can.
I agree. Need to make time to Anchorage.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got
Anything
plenty
in
of
trouble?
range, and they've got IFR approaches if it's socked in, so
Yep.
we will just fly over. Vancouver Control. Request.
I've handed you off to Anchorage. You can switch to them on 118.5 with your request. Have a good one.
Switch to Anchorage on 1185. Anchorage Center. It's at 10,000. What's the request?
Rider 69er, thanks. Catch can altimeter 29er 88, go ahead.
29er 88. We'd like to modify our flight plan if we could to continue on to Papa Alpha Whiskey Golf.
Roger, copy, new destination Wrangell. And did you want to go direct or would you like to go over Lima Victor Delta?
Actually, I'm sorry, if we could do Papa Alpha Papa Golf, and we would like to go direct if we could. That's Petersburg.
Clear to the Petersburg Airport via direct, maintain 10,000.
Cleared to Petersburg Airport. Cleared to Petersburg Airport via direct, maintain 10,000. All right. Plug her into the old flight deck, and just like that, Catch a Can loses our business.
Yeah.
Little girl will really climb, won't she?
You will.
got fuel bags.
Southwest Gulf.
Yeah.
Okay. So with any luck, in about 30 minutes, we're going to find a pass up through here, and we'll get up on the north side of the Brooks Range.
Right.
Let's hope there's some caribou.
Yeah.
And we'll need to find a place to land, camp.
Yep.
Try and get that all set up. How much daylight we got left?
4 hours and 40 minutes. Actually,
Till
4 hours,
sunset.
5 hours, 10 minutes.
And we got about an hour and a half of twilight right now.
Make that 6 hours, 10 minutes.
By the end of the week, it'll be down to about an hour, 50 minutes. So,
Yep. 9:15. In that case, we've got 5 hours still. We lose light.
okay.
You're right. If we could find some caribou,
We'll just
that would impact where you camp and where you look for a landing site.
yeah, and hopefully don't get gold fever.
Yeah.
And put down necessarily the first place you see. It may behoove us
Right. Take a pass.
to explore.
Yep.
And make sure.
We marked
where we wanna
what we
be.
saw.
So we can find caribou, get on the ground, get the tent set up. I will
Yep.
be thrilled.
Yep. Wow.
Some way to go hunting, huh?
I guess.
I remember driving for 2.5 days, beating it up to Idaho and Montana with my family.
Yeah. Wow.
Same amount of time. You're up here in northern Alaska, flying through the Brooks Range.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Reckon there's any spot to go fishing down there?
Something tells me.
I don't know if you'll see any caribou. This looks like moose country to me, but later on in the winter, supposedly they pass through the Brooks Range, but what do we know? We're from Texas. Surely we can find some.
Right.
Look at that Spire Point right over there.
Like a pyramid, doesn't it?
That's crazy.
It is.
Yep, little lake up through there, or a big lake, I guess.
Yes.
Some of these don't even have names. There's too many of them, and it's so out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
It's just crazy to think that most of this by civilized, what they call civilized man, has never been explored except by the air.
Right.
Only the indigenous people, but you know, back in the 1800s. Okay, time to turn north, get through these mountains.
Cool. Get on the north side.
Get on the north side. You guys feel for wolves. We'll just fly up through this pass, I guess, or this valley. Should turn into one, and come up here and take a left, and after that, everything spread out in front of us is north slope. So we're gonna cross the divide here pretty quick.
Great.
Okay. That was the divide.
Pretty cool.
We're on the north slope now.
Wow.
Man, I see a lot of caribou trails. A lot of them. Right through there. See them all on the ground?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Nothing?
Seeing it.
Let me just say, it is whisper quiet and desolate out here. Extremely desolate. We are not too far from the Arctic Ocean from here. This is an old exploration strip from a long time ago. Somebody still uses it, clearly. I don't know how old it is, but it's one of the strips they used to explore this country, so they brought some big stuff in on it at one point. Alright. Alright. Let's go.
Yay, she started.
Yep. Good thing.
We won't be stranded on the moon. little slick.
Yeah. Little wet.
Well, my rudder pedals, yeah, but. All right. Let's go.
Yep.
Can't you keep these windows no cleaner than this?
Yeah. I'll work on that.
Like that might be a grizzly. He's a ways over there.
Yep.
That pretty over there.
Sure is.
Well, I don't see any fluffy little white butts.
Not yet.
Just bears so far. Who says we don't serve hot meals on these flights?
Right.
Good night. What do you even call that place?
Pretty.
Funny how there's these just rolling hills like the ground is come up this high and it's fixing to drop out from under us.
Yep.
Reckon there's any fish in that little lake? Probably not. I don't know how they'd get there, but
Yeah.
who knows, maybe there is.
Bird drops them off.
So we patrolled basically a little over half of the entire Brooks Range, all the way within 30 minutes of the Pacific Ocean. Crossed it, came all the way back, patrolled the North Slope, weaving along the Brooks, about 2,500 feet above the ground. Didn't see one caribou, so we know where they aim.
Yep.
And the wildlife department told us that we were correct. There was not caribou that had come down into that whole part of the country.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at those mountains back there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Tier after tier of mountains.
I never in my life thought I'd get to see this much of something like this. So,
Lakes, creeks, mountains.
man, this looks moosey to me. We'll turn north. Get on up in here. What a beautiful little valley.
Sure is.
I'm telling you, this looks like moose country. There's one. There's a moose right there. Look at that sucker.
I saw him.
Yeah. Caribou. Isn't that funny? You just see a certain part of the country and you're like, ooh, that just looks like moosey country.
Right.
See another part and you're just like, let's go up that one. That just looks like caribou country.
Yeah.
Got any on your side? Yeah, look at this herd right here. Boy, they just up staring at us. Like, what are you guys doing? Ooh, look at that big bull. Holy cow. Thrashing around. Right here. Whoa. There's an average bull.
He sure was. Trailing.
Group of cows. Look at these caribou trails.
Yep.
I don't know quite how they're getting up into here though. There's a whole herd over there. There's a bunch. Alright. Let's figure out if we can get this sucker on the ground and what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's a short spot. There's one there. That lets you take off over the water.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Well, here we be.
You got it in here.
Let's get out.
Yep.
See how quick we can spot a better place we should have landed. Well, you can tell how bothered these suckers are. Moving right through camp. Everywhere I go, people tell me how quiet, incredibly quiet, this plane engine is. I guess there's your proof. I mean, these things have never seen a human before. A lot of them have probably never seen an airplane either. But we are just right smack dab on the migration route. Ready? Alright. Let's get this little girl snuggled up in here. We're all in. Okay. What do you think? You like it? Look at them. Coming in closer for a look-see. Y'all move on. You're safe today. Or stay the night at your own risk. And right here, got her all tucked up, nice and neat. Caribou strung out from 100 to 300 yards. Some of them come up to check out the plane. They've never seen a person or a plane. Darn near had to shoo them off the spot I wanted to land on. But they'll be moving up through those trees tonight. Well, as you can see, here we be, Canada's, and this thing probably 45 minutes to an hour that way. So we're on the eastern side of the Brooks Range. Porcupine came down this year. They're the only ones. No Western Arctic, no Central Arctic, nothing. So, heard tell of a lot of them, along the Dalton Highway. I think most people go get those, but we wanted to get way out there, and we are way out here. So, hope this sucker starts, because I don't think anybody's going to come get us. In fact, I know they're not. So, we got a little bit of shooting to do. Maybe confirm our zero, and got a massive bull that's circling us, but most of these are not too impressive. But frankly, being from Texas, I don't really care. Never have been a trophy hunter. So, skinny bull 1, slightly better bull number 2, cow. There's better. That old boy back there is probably the east side of this outfit. Well, I stand corrected. There they be. Lord have mercy, look at that guy. No wonder they're all looking back at him. Y'all feel free to spend the night at your own risk. All the way from Texas. I guess this took us all of one day to finally get on. Okay. That'll work. Gosh, this feels like a sin, setting a gun off with all these animals around. I'd rather miss a tree than figure out something's off with my gun than on a caribou. Let's go see. Okay. Can't beat that. You ought to keep this business card. probably some tourist that would buy that. Most people with a gun wouldn't think that you can shoot like that with black powder and iron sights. Let's go get some firewood.
So how far would you shoot an animal with that rifle?
I don't actually even want to say. A lot further than most people think I should, I'll guarantee you that. But it's kind of like, I mean, I was a long-range shooting instructor for a while, and of course, I live on a range, and there's long-range shooting and there's long-range hunting, you know, and those were really two separate classes, because the long-range hunting is about all the things that kind of have to do with why you shouldn't shoot that far. But black powder specifically, like paper patch, you know, black powder. However, I built the rifle, I built the casings, built the shells, built the bullets. The only thing I didn't do is the primers and the powder. I mean, I made everything, made the barrel. So it hits exactly where I want, and it'll put it like that every time without wiping the barrel. So I'll shoot that gun a lot further than people would think you can or you should. And a lot of people that shoot black powder, if they hear you shoot that far, they just have a conniption. So I don't even want to say, but a long ways. Shoot a long ways. Put it that way. There's a whole line of them going up the hill right there. Look at that. What do you think of that? Yeah. Look at them there.
Yep.
Moving across that hillside.
They are moving on.
So, but I mean, it's all relative. You know, it's just like this airplane. I mean, how many people do we run into? Oh, I would never fly my airplane up to Alaska. So, yeah, I wouldn't fly your airplane up here either. I mean, that's all relative. And they're like, oh, I wouldn't shoot that far with my high-powered rifle and a 30-power scope. Yeah, and I wouldn't shoot your high-powered rifle with a 30-power scope that far either, because it probably shoots like crap. But mine doesn't, so I'll shoot that far. I mean, I don't know. I really know very little about, you know, the whole TV hunting and all that. I've since learned about it, because you run in certain circles and like, you do what? You did what? You know, I mean, I thought the way I was raised that I had fantastic hunting ethics. Well, now it's to a point where it's almost like a style. It's almost like you pretend you're not going to kill this thing and eat it. And it's just, no, I'm going to kill him, take his life, and eat it. I mean, that's the point. Don't dress it up. If you got a problem with that, don't shoot it. And so, you know, in shooting, there's kind of like a hidden code of conduct that I learned very quickly in my business. So a lot of stuff that you can do, you just do it and don't talk about it. And because, you know, like I said, everyone wants you, they want to be in your mold, they want you to be in their mold. So, you know, just think about all the, you know, everything you go through in GA, all the guys you run into, and they're like, oh, you did what? I would never do that. Yeah, and you shouldn't. Probably the biggest reason is your airplane won't do it, so you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't hold a Boeing 747 to your flight standards. You should never fly into known icing conditions. Well, they don't have a choice. The plane's built for that, you know? But that, because your little 182 won't go through known icing doesn't mean a Boeing 747 should. I've since learned too that, like, if you hire an outfitter, a lot of times they'll throw a target out there and they'll have you hit it. And man, if I was guiding folks, that would be a must. I would drill down on that hard, because I had no idea where they would be. And it's not their own, it's really, they could be an incredible shot. Their equipment is totally out of sorts. Just like somebody's airplane. You know, safety, that's a given. The pilot has got to be competent and safe. But what conditions the plane in? how is the plane equipped? And it's the same way with a rifle. So, you know, there's probably 99% of the pilots down in where we're from, especially, you know, in Texas, and I bet all the pilots in certain places of the lower 48 would be like, you flew that thing across the ocean? Yes. I mean, we weren't stupid about it. We had our contingency plans, but yes, we did. So, stuff like that is all relative. Okay, well, I'm hungry. Let's eat and come up with a plan. Should probably load up that 22 mag in case a covey of ptarmigan decide to come through here. Okay, so spare patches. I already patched these up at home, most of them. So Tracy thought some people would find this interesting. So that's it. Those ones we made the other day. And patched up. Extremely accurate. But the one thing about my rifles is, which, you know, I'm gonna get a modern rifle like my buddies and everything have someday, but you can't travel with the ammunition. It's just not worth the risk because there's so much involved with black powder. As simple as it is, everything's got to be in its own way just right, and it won't survive the flight. Altitude changes, I just don't trust it. I mean, you're gonna cap that thing, you know, with lube and everything in it. Yeah, I just don't trust it. So we're gonna load up probably 5-6 shells, and I typically just kind of load them as I need them. Sorry, my voice is a little strange. Had a cough. So take your homemade bullet lube here. And these have already been powdered, and there's just a wad sitting down in there. And just scoop it in. So, only bad thing about my rifle is you got to bring all your reload and stuff. Which is a major pain, but man, it just shoots so good. When it goes off and whacks something way out there, makes it all worth it. But incorrect ammunition, changes in your ammunition, especially on long flights. You know, we don't have to worry about people handling our luggage. But the one thing a lot of guys too, that you'll see this a lot on TV, that a lot of people don't understand, unless you're using like a real high grade military scope, or a scope that's built to that level, and I don't mean mil spec. I mean, we all know that something that says mil spec means it's super cheap and crappy because, you know, government doesn't want to spend any more money than they have to. But a high grade military scope, you know, that's like for special warfare operations or something, they're built to take a lot of pressure, internal pressure, at high altitudes. So when you fly, the baggage compartment is seldom pressurized, or it's not pressurized very much. And on a given flight, even from like Anchorage up here farthest north, you know, like if you're using a transporter, the pressure inside that scope is going to easily hit 20 psi. So you're going to have 20 pounds per square inch trying to get outside of that scope, and they're just not built for that. So a lot of times then it will, and you scopes used to be built in a vacuum, but I mean, how do you keep a vacuum? You know, that's pretty delicate. And then so you lose some gas, and as you all know, that gas is in there, that inert light gas is in there to keep the light facing the right direction, keep the light from bending. And when your gas level inside your tube changes, hopefully it just kind of leaks out and seals back up, because a lot of them are, the better scopes are kind of self-sealing. But how you perceive the light in a glass-etched reticle will be different, and your scope will be off. Even if it doesn't get bumped, all people knew was, man, you fly with this thing at 36,000 feet, next thing you know, the zero shifts. So it doesn't start to shoot like crap, it just changes, it moves. So loaded up those other two to sight the gun, and of course that went great. So we just got 3 more, but as you can see, it is not that big of a deal. I usually don't bring a seating system or a press, but we are just so far, and got a lot of expectations of seeing some amazing stuff. But you can just run these bullets on down in there with your hand like that, and you can just hold them up till they look about right or look like the other ones. I mean, that'll shoot. I need to go a little bit more on it, but that would have hit that postage stamp, business card, whatever we were shooting at. That's it. So, if you haven't figured out the real challenge of doing something like this is the 150 yard, 200 yard walk back to camp. Rough stuff. Okay. So we've got a shooting lane that way, and that way. second from the left. Yes. All right. He's hurting. Shy of about 200, so it's pretty close. Jump shot. Not even 200 yards. Man, can't beat that. I was thinking we wouldn't have to split them. This cargo area is so big. Okay. What are these? Fairly heavy. Well, there we go. All right.
Good. Yep, fly safe.
You too.
Yeah.
Trying to have fun.
Yeah, I will. Shouldn't be hard.
Well, she jumped right off the ground just fine. I got the caribou, all the meat, and we will get this back to, I'm gonna fly it, actually, I'm gonna fly this back to Anchorage. Tracy wanted to spend some time in the wilderness. I mean, you never know if you'll ever get to go this far north again, because a lot of times it's weather, because we are really far north. We will stop at a little airport and get some fuel, and I'm going to haul this all the way to Anchorage because it's cheaper and easier. So, kind of cool. We added it up. You know, we're just doing everything ourselves. Well, here we are at Coldfoot. Well, we're going out to pick up Tracy. So got some good weather. So we're headed back north to spend another day in the Brooks before we go. Tracy texted on the old Garmin inReach and said he's enjoying it and having fun. So I would too. But there's a lot of people that wouldn't. So here in about 3 hours, I'm going to fly direct from Anchorage all the way up. Just going to do a non-stop. Should take about 3 hours. The plane's pretty quick.
Well, cavalry's here. Look at that. That would be ice.
Kaboom! Well, we're leaving Anchorage.
We are, and we got to see a moose.